Shohei Ohtani and his agent are being sued for allegedly sabotaging a $240 million real estate project in Hawaii. We will break that down. Also, can the Dodgers figure out the Angels? LA has lost 5 straight to the Halos. The record is 6. They'll try to stop that tonight. The Padres, just a game behind the Dodgers in the National League West. And Dodgers great Adrian Gonzalez joins the show, an exclusive interview where we talk about him and the Dodgers' pursuit of Ohtani and how he helped the Dodgers get Shohei Ohtani. Also, his thoughts on the current team, Mookie Betts' slump this season, why he is going to finish strong. So much going on here on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Ronnie, the parade. We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 clock. Mookie magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. If you're a everyday viewer of the show, everyone always asks me how you can support the channel. Well, go to gearup.la, get the best Dodgers t-shirts in the game over at gearup.la. That is the place to do it. So if you want to support the channel, that is how you can. And then also, if you want to check out the Discord, that's always great too. The Discord channel is our Discord server where we're chatting, we're talking Dodger baseball all day, every day. I highly recommend doing that, especially if you just want to talk Dodger baseball 24/7, 365. That is the place to do it with other Dodgers fanatics. That is the spot. But we have got a lot of Dodger baseball to get into later. Like I said, we'll be joined by Adrian Gonzalez. I made a trip to his new restaurant, his fast casual spot in West LA, Slizeria. And if you guys know me, I'm not a big fan of mushrooms. And I did try his pizza that had a bunch of mushrooms on it, and that's actually pretty good. It might have changed my stance on mushrooms. Are there any foods that you guys don't like? Let me know down below in the comment section. So let me know down below. For me, it's mushrooms. Adrian Gonzalez, I think, may have got me hooked on the shrooms. Not those kind, the toppings kind, by the way. I'll point that out. But we've got so much Dodger baseball to get into, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so the hottest story in Dodger baseball is not a baseball-related story. It's a story about the biggest baseball player in the world, and that, of course, is Shohei Ohtani. So this is from the Associated Press. I am a baseball reporter, a baseball analyst, and this is more legal jargon, so we're going to rely on this AP report to make sense of this. I did spend my morning reading translated Japanese articles that were talking about this case, and we'll get into it. So this is from the AP, and the headline is Dodgers Shohei Ohtani's agent Nez Bolello sued, accused of sabotaging $240 million real estate project. So let's dive into it. So pull up a chair. We'll try to make sense of this. Drop your comments down below. What your thoughts on this, because these are an allegation. Want to point that out. This is a report from the Associated Press. I want to point that out. But it reads, Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani and his agent Nez Balelo are being sued for allegedly pushing two people out of a $240 million real estate deal in Hawaii. Ohtani and Balelo are accused of tortuous interference and unjust enrichment in a lawsuit filed on behalf of real estate developer Kevin J. Hayes Sr. and real estate broker Tomoko Matsumoto on Friday in Hawaii Circuit Court, according to Jimmy Golan of the Associated Press. Now, just to rewind a little bit here, you may have caught this last season where it was reported by the Wall Street Journal back in April of 2024 that Shohei had been working on a new property in Hawaii, his Hawaiian dream home, and he was planning to build a 5,000 square foot home on a 1.1 acre lot that was overlooking a golf course and the ocean. And the lots in this vista were set to range between $17 million and $20 million. And that was per the original report. And this Matsumoto guy, he was supposed to be the listing agent of these properties. And as you go deeper into kind of the origins of this project, it reads, investment materials for the Vista described by Golan named Ohtani as a, quote, celebrity spokesman for the project and says the Dodgers star, quote, intends to spend significant time at the Vista in the offseason and will construct a small hitting and pitching facility for preseason training. So a spokesman for the developer told Solomon at the time that the agreement was similar to an NIL deal in which Ohtani's image would be used to promote the brand. So that is kind of what we knew beforehand as far as him wanting to go to Hawaii, build this awesome dream property. And in the April 2024 press release, it actually does name Ohtani as the first resident of the Hapuna Estates, a gated community within the Mauna Kea Resort. And the Wall Street Journal, they were reporting that he was going to oversee all the construction of it, that Ohtani had been incentivized to become the first resident of the development by being given his first choice of lots and having the developers oversee the home's construction at Ohtani's expense. So this sounds like to me that Ohtani's like, cool, you're going to use my name, image, and likeness. You can use my name. You can use my superstar power. And then I get hooked up because I get to have my pick of where I want to live, of the lot, and I'll have a little more flexibility. And I'm pretty sure that it was going to save him money as well, right? Now, the lawsuit claims, this is from the AP, as far as the interference, says attorney Joshua I. Schiller, who represents one of the plaintiffs, told Sportico's Michael McKain in a statement that, quote, it's uncertain at this time whether Balelo's alleged contractual interference and misdeeds were even known to Mr. Ohtani at the time, or whether he may have himself been misled by Mr. Balelo, but we aim to find out. The suit claims that Ohtani and Balelo interfered with the contractual rights of Hayes and Matsumoto while they were planning and developing a luxury real estate project, the Vista at Mauna Kea Resort on the Big Island. Ohtani and Balelo are accused of interfering with the plaintiff's interest in a second neighboring venture, according to Golden. And now, according to McKain, the lawsuit alleges that Ohtani and Balelo pushed for concessions from the plaintiffs before issuing a, quote, ultimatum and threatening retaliatory litigation unless one of the project's business partners, Kingsbarn Realty Capital, removed Hayes and Matsumoto from the deal. So sounds like they were all in on this project and they did not agree with something that these guys were doing, and they probably wanted out of that. That would be just a guess based on how this is presented. And it would say Balelo and Ohtani, who were brought into the venture solely for Ohtani's promotional and branding value, exploited their celebrity leverage to destabilize and ultimately dismantle plaintiffs' role in the project for no reason other than their own financial self-interest. The lawsuit further claims the case is about abuse of power, defendants' use threats and baseless legal claims to force a business partner to betray its contractual obligations and strip plaintiffs of the very project they conceived and built. Defendants must be held accountable for their actions, not shielded by fame or behind-the-scenes agents acting with impunity. Plaintiffs bring this suit to expose defendants' misconduct and to ensure that the rules of the contract, fair dealing, and accountability apply equally to all, celebrity or not. So it would go on to say, too, that the claim that this King's Barn started excluding Hayes from the meetings and later abruptly moved Hayes and Matsumoto from the project via a Zoom meeting per McKain. So, yeah, basically these two guys are claiming that they were taken out of this big-time money-making venture because Shohei Ohtani and his agent were trying to get him out of it, and now they are trying to get the money back. So that's basically how it is. Why they were out and why they think it was Shohei Ohtani and his agent. I mean, we'll see if it holds up in court. We'll see if there's any type of settlement. We'll see what happens. But basically, bottom line is that is the crux of this whole matter. That is basically how it breaks down and how this thing really is about two dudes that are really upset about the fact that they're not in on this project anymore. And Shohei Ohtani, he signed a contract to essentially endorse this place, but he probably didn't like the stuff from the people that were running it, and we'll see what happens. But, yeah, that's kind of where it's at. It's definitely not fun because this is one of the biggest athletes, one of the biggest brands on the planet that is having to deal with headlines about him being sued for $240 million based on allegations, and his agent is involved. So, yeah, anytime Shohei Ohtani is involved in this, you don't love it just because you want him to be focusing on baseball, being the best player on the planet. It's a distraction that I know that he probably does not like. He can't be happy about this, and this is an allegation. We'll see what happens, and hopefully this gets straightened out pretty quickly, and the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani can move on from this. But those were the details from the AP report on this, and that is where we stand. Now let's get to you guys on some comments down below. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout Live flagship show, the GoFundMe. No, he's going to be fine. He is going to be fine. When is Kim back? We'll talk about that. We got an injury update. It's all for show from Jeremy Buckley, 4153. You got, yeah, and it's funny. All the trolls are coming out. Hating on Shohei and this and that. I feel like this is a matter that really kind of is not obviously sports related, but it's a sports related guy that's involved in something that look, when you're as famous as Shohei Ohtani, when you're as wealthy and as powerful, guys are going to try to take advantage of your celebrity status, and we'll see what comes of this, but I'll leave it at that. Now, injury updates. We got some injury updates, and I see you guys asking about Haesung Kim. I see you guys asking me about Tanner Scott and Michael Kopech. Well, we've got some big injury updates that we're going to get into, and this is a Dodger team that certainly can benefit from that. You definitely want to see them as healthy as possible, getting as much help as possible, and I think the first guys that can really make a difference for this team is Michael Kopech. He had the right knee meniscectomy. He had a torn meniscus, and when you have a meniscectomy, you definitely are going to make sure that your lower body is right before you make it back out there on the mound. Dave Roberts said the other day that he was antsy to get back, and the latest is that after yesterday, where he faced hitters in Anaheim, that he came away well from it. It was the first time since going on the IL that he did face hitters. He could have another live session before starting a rehab assignment. So the good news is that he's someone that the arm is intact and it's well. It was just a knee thing, so he's kind of overcompensating probably. The delivery, the mechanics weren't 100% because of it. So I still think that Michael Kopech he is the wild card. One of the big X factors. I listed 5 X factors heading into the season. Michael Kopech was number 3 on that list, and that's just because he brings that element that this team desperately needs. That is a fireballer, a guy that can use that four-seam fastball up in the zone to dominate hitters. We saw the success he had last year in the postseason. He's absolutely integral to this team's success, and they need him back as soon as possible because this bullpen needs a shot in the arm, and Michael Kopech certainly is capable of doing just that. And then another bullpen arm, Kirby Yates, he's been dealing with lower back pain. They were trying to identify where in the lower body was the issue with him. And Kirby Yates, they identified as lower back pain. He's been on the IL since August 1st. It was retroactive till July 29th, a 15-day IL stint. His expected return date is pretty soon, the middle of this month. And he is scheduled to face live hitters on August 13th in Anaheim. So is just like Kopech, he'll face hitters in Anaheim. And if that goes well, he could start a rehab assignment. Then there's Kiké Hernández. So this is a very encouraging update on Kiké Hernández. He's been on the injured list since July 7th. His expected return date was anywhere from, hey, there's no guarantee he's coming back, to things are looking better for him. Well, Dave Roberts said yesterday that the Banana Man is beginning to ramp up his baseball activities. He's taking infield ground balls. He's throwing and running, and he's also swinging again. Has resumed taking swings, so that is going to be the biggest thing. When he starts taking those swings, he's going to really take the next step, and the hope now is that you can get him back at some point towards the beginning of September. So that's what he needs to do. He is ramping it up. He has taken ground balls. He is throwing. He is running. And the next big box he needs to check off is taking swings and start swinging that bat, because that's what he does best for this team in October. Then Hae-Sung Kim, another guy that you guys always ask me about. The update on Hae-Sung Kim is that he's expected to start taking live at-bats this week. And if that goes well, then he should start a rehab assignment. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury, left shoulder bursitis in his left shoulder. He's been on the IL since July 29th. I think this one is incredibly important just because this is someone who could impact this team off the bench. And if this team does move off of Michael Conforto, if they decide to do that, well, you could have Hae-Sung Kim as your bench guy who you can use a late game substitution on defense and also as a pinch runner. The way he hit, the way he swung the bat, I think you want to get a little more of a sample size to see if you can have confidence in his at-bats in the postseason, if he's going to make that postseason roster. So if he wants to make this team, which I know he does, then he's going to have to get back as soon as possible and be productive and show this team that the slump had a little to do with the injuries and he can kind of adjust back to them adjusting to him after his hot start. Then there's Roki Sasaki. So Roki Sasaki's been on the IL since mid-May, and he's going to start a rehab assignment with AAA Oklahoma City. So that is going to set him up for a return in early September. So he's making a start for OKC on August 14th. Let's see how that goes. I was in attendance up in the press box when he threw and faced hitters a couple days ago. And one of the cool things is when you're in the press box, there's a StatCast MLB guy who's giving them readings of the spin rate, of the velocity. And for Roki, he was sitting 95, 96. So let's see if those 95s and 96s can turn to 98, 99s, 100s. And that can be something that can really help this team and put him in a position where he's either depth for the starting rotation if someone has to miss any time, or God forbid anything bad happens like last season where guys miss significant time. Roki Sasaki is certainly an option as a starting pitcher. Dave Roberts has already said he's a starting pitcher. Or is he someone that looks so good that the Dodgers' mindset is we're going to take the best 13 pitchers and we're going to throw him into the bullpen? So that's the plan for him. Then Tommy Edman, another one of the big puzzle pieces down the stretch, is when do you get Tommy Tanks back? And he's been on the IL since August 4th with right ankle pain. He's been dealing with that little tweak all year. I mean, he was just rounding first base on a base hit against the Tampa Bay Rays. He tweaked that right ankle. They listed that as a right ankle sprain. And Dave Roberts said that his rehab is going to take some time because they want to make sure this does not happen again. So hopefully he comes back by early September and he gets a rhythm at the plate because his offense has been down ever since that hot start. Then Brusdar Graterol, not too much of an update on him. I think I'm going to go to Anaheim right after this, so I'm going to try to ask Dave Roberts about Brusdar Graterol. The plan for a long time was at some point in September. He's recovering from right shoulder surgery. He's been on the IL since March 18th. He underwent right shoulder labrum surgery last November, and he has started throwing progression down at the Dodgers complex in Arizona at Camelback Ranch, but we will wait and see what is his status. Another guy that we haven't heard a lot about is Tony Gonsolin. Dave Roberts said that they've been running out of time with him. He's dealing with right elbow discomfort. Yeah, it's I don't know what's up with Tony Gonsolin, but he did say that time is running out, and that was in July, so I might get an update on him today. Then Evan Phillips, of course, he's out for the season with Tommy John surgery. River Ryan out for the season. Gavin Stone out for the season. Michael Grove out for the season. The guy that is kind of the under-the-radar wild card to just kind of keep in your brain as an option is Kyle Hurt. Kyle Hurt, he underwent Tommy John surgery in July of last year. He's been rehabbing at the Dodgers complex in Arizona. He has top-end stuff, so just makes you wonder is he an option for this season based on how he's progressed and also where the Dodgers are at, the state of their bullpen when you get closer to October. But this team, they need to stay healthy. Their strength should be their starting pitching. Yes, yesterday was not a good start for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. We understand that. Was squeezed a little in the first inning, but it doesn't get enough run support. We know everything, right? It's the classic Yamamoto. No run support, get squeezed by the umpire. Stuff just was not great yesterday, and we will see where the Dodgers are at heading into this series against the Padres and just how their bullpen shakes out. But all right, let's go to you guys. Some comments here, and then we're going to go to my friend Adrian Gonzalez. What's up, Ron Fig? Let's talk Conforto. MB knows more. All right, we'll talk some Conforto. Sure, MB knows more. We'll talk some Conforto for you. Why don't we go to the seventh inning stretch, and then we'll kind of do things in reverse, and we'll go to the Adrian Gonzalez interview after this.
The seventh inning stretch.
So you would talk some Michael Conforto, and look, everyone knows that this organization really respects Michael Conforto. We know that they believe that at some point the bat is going to come around, and they're hoping for that. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. We talked about it yesterday. The year he was having that he picked up in July, had an 827 OPS in July, avoided being traded. Then after the trade deadline, he definitely has gone back to the guy that we've seen for most of this season. In July, he's hitting 111 with a 411 OPS. And yesterday, another player made me think of Michael Conforto. And that player that made me think of Michael Conforto was Mookie Betts. Because Mookie Betts, since the ovation, Mookie Betts is 11 of 30 with a 367 batting average and a 940 OPS, a 165 weighted runs created plus, a home run, and a couple doubles in that stretch. It's wild to think this, but that ovation, we'll see how things play out, but Mookie Betts looks like Mookie Betts. And speaking to Adrian Gonzalez yesterday, he told me that bat speed is extremely overrated when it comes to hitters. It's about rhythm and timing and finding those cues and locking in mechanically. And we talk some Mookie Betts later, so you'll want to hear what he has to say. Some stuff that you can only hear from a former All-Star hitter. Let's just be honest about that. So we'll wait for that. But yesterday, Mookie Betts, he came in and he played right field. And Sportsnet LA, they showed Mookie talking to Dave Roberts, and Dave Roberts was asking Mookie if he can play right. Mookie didn't flinch, goes out there, and of course, the ball finds you. He makes a put out, and it just felt good. It felt right. It felt like, oh, that's the guy that we paid $365 million to be a right fielder that rakes, not a shortstop that has a below-average bat. And it got me to thinking, if you put Mookie Betts in right, here would be the positives. The first thing, the defense would improve tremendously. 6-time Gold Glove Award winning right fielder. Sure, is he as good as he was in his prime at that position? No. But is he better than Teoscar Hernandez this year? Yes. Right away. And then you put Teoscar Hernandez back in left field, where the arm is less of a factor, where, yes, the ball will find him, but last time I checked, the Dodgers won the World Series with him in left field and Mookie Betts in right field. And then in center field, Andy Pages, you go down that. Andy Pages is really starting to pick it up offensively again after a little slump there. Andy Pages has proven to be a guy that can get into slumps and get himself out of slumps. He hasn't been as great last couple of months, and we'll see. If Andy Pages hits, you're going to put him in center field. But let's not forget, if Kiké Hernández is coming back and Andy Pages doesn't hit consistently, Kiké Hernández can play center field. You have Alex Call who can play center field. Tommy Edman, if he comes back from the injury, you can have Tommy Edman play center field. But the most important thing about this is both of your corner outfields now, you have an above-average defender and 2 above-average bats if Mookie continues to hit like this and Teoscar Hernandez continues to hit like he has been last couple weeks, right? I mean, where you see some home runs and you want him to put it all together. Mechanically, he doesn't look all the way great, but still, I mean, I trust Teo in the postseason. I really do. And I think that he is going to turn around. I'm confident that he will. He's just too good of a hitter, right? And then with Michael Conforto, he's either on the bench or he just doesn't make this team. And at this point, it's not going to be a big deal. Like, it is not going to be a big deal, this organization, for Michael Conforto to make this team. I just want to point this out there. Anyone who thinks that Michael Conforto is on this team now because the Dodgers paid him $17 million, that is nothing. That is a drop in the bucket when you look at a $400 million roster. The reason why Michael Conforto is in this team is because they think eventually he is going to turn it around. Now, at some point, I think you have to be honest with yourself, and he's already had 118 games and a lot of at-bats and a lot of time to figure this thing out, and he just has not done it. So I would not be surprised if he was left off the postseason roster. In fact, if he hit like this for the rest of the year, I would expect it. I'd be shocked if he was on it. So if Michael Conforto doesn't turn around and he's not on the postseason roster, then this could be a lineup that you could see and a roster that you could see on the position player side. Shohei Ohtani at DH, Mookie Betts batting second in right field, Freddie Freeman at first, batting third, Will Smith at catcher, batting fourth, Max Muncy at third, batting fifth, Teoscar Hernandez in left, batting sixth, Andy Pages batting seventh in center, Tommy Edman at second base, batting eighth, and your shortstop is Miguel Rojas. So one thing I want to point out to you is Miguel Rojas. You know, I talked to Adrian Gonzalez yesterday. I mentioned this like 15 times now. Okay, you guys think I'm trying to be cool, but I'm not. I talked to him a lot off the camera, and I learned a lot about baseball-related things. And one thing he told me was, yeah, I think I could still hit in the show. I could still hit big league pitching. I could. It's just I can't do it every single day. And Miguel Rojas has not played shortstop every single day, so you could get the best version of Miguel Rojas defensively down the stretch. Remember last year, he was injured in the NLDS. If Miguel Rojas stays healthy and can give you the bat that he's been giving you for most of this year, that gives you better shortstop defense. Like there's no world where Mookie on his best day, even right now, could play better shortstop than Miguel Rojas today. That's just never going to happen. Miguel Rojas, when he's right, is one of the best defensive shortstops. So that improves your defense at the second most important defensive position on the diamond. And then on top of that, Rojas' bat has been solid this year. That's the thing about Rojas, is like everyone always tries to act like his bat is a major detriment, but he hasn't had a great August. But I mean, he had 841 OPS in July, and honestly, like you can live with the contact, and it still makes more sense because anyone can be better than what Michael Conforto's bringing you right now, right? So just think about that. And so at least you're getting defense. He brings something to the table. Michael Conforto, bad defense, bad offense, bad base running, right? As far as he's not an additive player from that standpoint. So then your bench is Kiké as your utility guy, Dawn Rushing at your catcher spot. Then you have two more spots. If Ha-Seong Kim is healthy, I'd rather have Ha-Seong Kim as a dynamic base runner that could have a chance to hit. And then your 13th man is Alex Call, who could be your fourth outfielder that can hit against lefties, that plays really good defense. It's just more of a quality move. So, look, this team is not going to win unless their best players play well, but I think that could be the route. So that was your answer to your question about Michael Conforto. Shohei Ohtani, Agent Ned's really suspicious from Fringy firing. Yeah, I don't want to speculate too much on that. I just kind of gave you the facts from the AP story. We'll see how it plays out. It doesn't seem like it's going to be this massive deal for sure. Dmac, this sounds way too logical for Roberts to consider. Mr. Summerall. I mean, right? I mean, that just sounds perfect, doesn't it? I was thinking about it today. I was staring at my ceiling. Today at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was thinking about all this stuff. That's what I do. We got major chip hazard. It's going to be Super Bowl weekend, and Dmac is still going to be waiting for Conforto to turn it around. Bruh. I like that. It's a comment of the show. I like Miguel Roach, shortstop, Claudia. You're crazy to think Miguel Rojas is a starting shortstop in the postseason. Really? Because last time I checked, when was the last time Miguel Rojas was the starting shortstop? Oh, that's right. Last postseason before he got injured. Now, I will say that Tommy Edman at shortstop works for me too. It really does. Absolutely. No doubt about it. And Mookie has improved a lot of the nuances of the game, finding cutoffs and things like that. Postseason is different, though. And you want him to focus on being productive at the plate and playing a position that he's familiar with. There's no issue with Miguel Rojas at shortstop. And the thing about Tommy Edman, it makes you wonder if it'd be best to have him at second base, because it always feels like we're just one tweaked ankle away from him being gone. I mean, all he did was get a single, rounded first, and boom, he's been on the IL. Imagine in center field or shortstop where there's more lateral movement required to play that position at a high level. Might not be the year to jeopardize that. If he can get healthy, 100% for sure. There's no doubt about it. Ray Velasquez, all caps. Dmac! Enough with the ifs already. There's zero urgency with Teo, Bumfordo, Lame Roberts by sitting on his twerking arse. This is embarrassing. Okay, let it all out. Tell me how you really feel. You sound like you want to talk to the manager. Do you want to speak to the manager? It sounds like you do. Miguel Rose is a rally killer. But think about first of all, the bat has been better this year. Second of all, Miguel Rojas on the field means that Conforto isn't, and his defense is actually a plus. You got to think about it that way as well. You really do. All right, guys, so let's do a couple more, and then we're going to go to Adrian Gonzalez. Stay around for that. Hey, Dmac, you're finally ready to sell your Conforto stock? I'm talking to my stockbroker today, and we're working something out, and I'll get back to you for where that deal is at, okay? It's pending, so I can't speak too much about it because we're kind of in talks to make something happen. So I'll give you the update on that for sure, okay? But yeah, appreciate you asking. Big Joe Smash, Dmac, our Dodgers look old this year. Talked a little bit about that yesterday. It's tough it's so difficult to repeat. We're seeing that with our own eyes. We got Eddie Fire Roberts. We got Freeland at third. Looks like a young Justin Turner. Yeah, we talked about Ryan Ward as an option, right? For whatever reason, the Dodgers just haven't given him that option. Conforto's Yelp rating is 0 stars. Okay. All right, guys, good stuff. But now let's get to Adrian Gonzalez. We talk Mookie Betts, the offense, the Padres-Dodgers rivalry. Is it a rivalry? Also, he opens up about his initial trade to the Dodgers and hitting a home run in his first at-bat. Some never-before-discussed topics from Adrian Gonzalez. Also, what went into him giving Shohei Ohtani the care package. So a lot of fun stuff with Adrian Gonzalez. He also gives his ultimate Dodgers pizza party, who he would want to have a pizza party with, which Dodgers players, and which of his former teammates could crush a pizza and crush the most pizza all by himself. That's coming up next here on Dodgers Dugout Live. Call this man the butter and eggs man because he's been delivering for years. Now, what is up, Dodgers Nation? And Vince Scully used to call this man the butter and eggs man because he's been delivering for years. Now it's a different type of food he's delivering. That's pizza. We're here at his new pizzeria, Slizeria, on the corner of Olympic and Sawtell. First, Adrian, congratulations on your new spot. And so what can you tell us about the inspiration to open this place?
The inspiration behind opening up Slizeria is really comes down to we just want to give a good pizza, good value to people. We're all about, giving people something that we really, over the last few years, been missing. It's just a good pizza for good value. I hate going to places and, getting a pizza and it's like $40. Like, I'm like, wow, well, where do these prices go? So, right now, our goal here is to really just create some great pizza with good quality ingredients and be able to do it at a great value for everybody that wants to come in. And so we have our meal, which is 2 slices and a drink for $10.
Yeah, that's the thing that stands out to me is the combo is great. 2 premium slices, you get the drink. But my question to you is, what makes a great pizza and what separates a good pizza from a great hitter? It's like, what separates a good hitter to a great hitter? What separates a good pizza to a great pizza, Adrian?
Continuing to deliver just a good slice. I think one of the things that makes us unique here at Slizeria is the fact that we have 12 different pizzas to choose from. Not a lot of places have that have those options, and then just good quality ingredients, and then you make a great pizza. We're not a New York style pizza. We're not a Detroit style pizza. We're not a any style pizza. We're just good hand tossed pizza.
And do you have a favorite topping? I mean, the teriyaki and all this stuff looks amazing, but what's your favorite?
You know what? There's about 4 or 5 different ones that I keep rotating, which are all great. This is the Slizeria Supreme. That's a great slice. For me, the teriyaki chicken, the barbecue chicken, the pepperoni is just a classic, right? And then you go into like the meaty greedy and the jalapeno popper. Those are also very popular, and I enjoy them both too.
Yeah, and of course, it's going to be a popular place to hang out here in West LA. Are you thinking about maybe inviting some of your former Dodgers teammates, current Dodgers teammates? I mean, great pizza. I mean, kind of reminds me of Tommy Lasorda in the 80s, right? I mean, they're going to be showing up here a lot, do you think?
Yeah, Dave Roberts is actually a co-owner, so he's a partner in this, so that's a good thing to put out there. And we have a couple other partners that are known as well. But I think the biggest thing is that we are going to have we're going to ask some of the rookies especially to come out and do some autograph signings and be able to do some things here in the near future. But right now we're really focusing on just bringing people in, having them try it, and really enjoying just the atmosphere here.
Yeah, you mentioned Dave Roberts. He was into wine. You dabbling in all kinds of stuff. You're an incredible analyst. Now you're doing the food thing. Just how difficult is that challenge going from an all-star hitter and player in this league to kind of finding life after baseball, and now you're having a new passion here with the food industry?
Yeah, no, I've owned Jersey Mike's stores for a long time, and so for me, being in the fast food, fast casual industry has been a real blessing, and I've really learned to grow from it and enjoy it and understand it. So, continuing to stay in that industry, for me, I think it's the place to be. Quick, good, fast, like just having the person that enjoys the food to be able to come in, pick what they want, get it in, get their meal in, and be able to do it at a great value. For me, that's really where the food industry is going. You're going into this fast casual places and then the high end stuff. So I really enjoy this industry, this part of the restaurant world, and we're going to continue to move forward.
Yeah, we haven't tried it yet, but it looks great. It smells great. We're going to try it. We're going to make some in a little bit here. But speaking of pizza, your former teammates, which of your former teammates do you think could crush the most pizza in one sitting, or like multiple boxes? I mean, who comes to mind first, Adrian?
Well, I mean, I don't know who would probably crush the most. I would say if I had to pick one player on the Dodgers right now, wow. I know Kirsch will enjoy a good slice of pizza, so I'm gonna go with Kirsch. I know he's probably a person that's always enjoyed a good meal, so I would go with Kirsch.
All right, your dream Dodgers pizza party. Any Dodgers in the history of the franchise. Could be managers, could be Vin, Tommy, Jackie, anyone you got. Who would be your dream Dodgers pizza party? You and 4 other Dodgers in the history of this franchise.
4 other Dodgers. I love that. So I would definitely have Tommy Lasorda because he is so much fun. Rest in peace. But when he was around in spring training, he would be so much fun to have and to just conversate and have those conversations.
Yeah.
He's the best. And I would have I'd have Dave Roberts. He's one of my really, really good friends, and I always enjoy being around Doc. So that's 2 right there. 2 other ones. I would have Sandy Koufax. I really enjoyed Sandy. The interactions I've had with him, and probably I would go with another person I really enjoyed a conversation with would be Don Newcomb. Or I'm sorry, Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson. Hey, there's like so many names to pick from.
I would have to have both Jackie Robinson and Don Newcomb so they could tell us stories.
Yeah, we'll throw in some extra names in there, but that just would be an awesome pizza party. With Dave Robertson there, Tommy Lasorda. I mean, who's gonna even get the time to tell those stories? You love to tell stories yourself. You're listening in that situation.
Eating and listening for sure.
That's awesome stuff. So, about this current Dodgers team. You got some ups and downs. Take 2 out of 3 from Toronto. One player I want to ask you about, though, is Mookie Betts. Hasn't had the year that is the standard Mookie Betts year. Well above average hitter. Has played shortstop, which is incredible to see him transition from being an outfielder to a shortstop. But looks like things are starting to click for him. But what do you make of the year that he's had, and kind of what have you
carry 15 feet of carry, which is a huge difference for players. I feel like I was along those players that we weren't hitting the ball 50 feet over the fence. We're hitting it 10, 20 feet over the fence. And those 10, 20 feet, now it's being caught. And then your next swing, you try to make it a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And then the ball that you're used to having it carry into the gap and being a double, now it's being caught because now those 10 feet, the outfielder can run it down. It trickles and it creates a bad habit. And so for me, he's gotten to the point where he's like, okay, I can't look at my numbers. I can't focus on my numbers. Who cares about my numbers? And I love that. So that is, I really love where he's at right now mentally because he's kind of said okay, I'm just going to focus on helping the team win. And, I think he's always focused on helping the team win, but you're always looking at your numbers too. So, he's gotten to the point where it doesn't matter, which I love. And so now he's going to have a great last 2 months of the season and into October. And, I'm really thinking that he's going to be one of the players that stands out in October.
Yeah, and you weren't a good hitter, you were a great hitter. One of the best hitters of your generation. You led the league in hits one year. When you're going through that slump, how much of it is mental? How much is it?
It was the old Petco where I think they've moved the fences in 3 or 4 times since.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 415 to both gaps. You're talking the ball not flying. You're talking about all these things. And we had players come in that had great numbers, and they would come and hit there as their home field. And after a couple swings where balls that they're used to being home runs are outs, they started getting bigger, and all these things, the same things I'm talking about that happened to Mookie this season, happened to them, and they just got frustrated mentally, physically. They try to change their swing, they try to adjust their swing, and all these things lead to these mechanical flaws. So it is mental, it is physical, it is a little bit of everything. It starts with the ball that you hit is an out, and you're used to it being a double or a home run. And then from there it goes into mental, and then it transfers into physical because you try to do more physically, and then it's just a trickle down effect. So, for my experience, I learned that the best thing you can do is just try to hit a good line drive, and then not worry about the result. Because if you make good contact and you knew you hit it well, that's all you can control. Once you focus on that, then you can let the results be the results. And it's a tough thing to do because if you go 0 for 4, it's hard to say I had a good day. Because you went 0 for 4, but you might have hit 3 balls on the money and they were outs, and you can't control that. So you had to learn. I had to learn that early playing at Petco, and it helped when I went to Boston and when I went to LA and New York, because then I wasn't so worried about, hey, it wasn't results driven. It was more like, hey, was I able to go through and make the contact and execute a game plan and do those things? So I really feel like guys that are struggling can really focus on just hey, was my contact there? That's all I can focus on.
Yeah, there's some real inside baseball stuff. A couple days ago, we were talking to Mookie, and he was telling us, it was a rough year, like you point out, not focus on the numbers, but he said that there's some things that you wouldn't understand, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't say that if Adrian Gonzalez was there. What do you think he's talking about? Hit cues, mechanical things? Just very curious.
I think he's talking about the same things I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about The same exact things I'm talking about, where it's like, hey, it's one thing led to the next, led to the next, led to the next. And it's hard to really break it down in an interview, because unless it's like a 1 hour sit down where we can really go through and be completely honest about everything that's going through. But then a lot of times what you're going through, a lot of the fans would be like, oh, that's an excuse, or that's an excuse, or that's this. And then it could be turned negatively on you. So I really feel like it's really, really hard to just break it down all the way through and still come off as, hey, I struggled and I'm working through it. A lot of people will be like, well, that's an excuse. And it's not really an excuse. It's just really what you're living through. So, it's a really fine line with how the fans see it and take that. And because you could say like, hey, I hurt myself a little bit working out and I tweaked this. And then that made my swing adjust because I couldn't swing this way. Now I had to swing this way. I dealt with a lot of neck issues throughout my career that people didn't know about. And so if I wasn't able to turn my head all the way, I had to open up my stance, which sometimes created a bad habit because now my stance is a little more open than normal rather than being closed, so I can get the full strength out of my swing. And I turned myself for those 2-3 days when my neck was really stiff into a single the other way guy. And people, I couldn't sit there and be like, hey, yeah, my neck's hurting, so I gotta just focus on singles right now. Because the fans would be like, oh, that's an excuse. But it's not an excuse, it's just what you're dealing with. So, everybody deals with a lot of things that you really just don't want to say, because if you say everything, then some people might turn it negatively.
That's why hitting a baseball at this level is the hardest thing to do in sports. I'll tell you what doesn't slump, though. That's great pizza. And all Dodgers fans need to go here to Slizeria, get a pizza, get a combo. It's awesome. Hit a home run in his first at-bat as a Dodger. Hit a home run in his last at-bat as a Dodger. I think hit out of the park here with this spot. We're going to talk to him a little later about some other Dodgers topics, but on behalf of Dodgers Nation, congratulations, Agon. Spot is awesome, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's like the grounds crew getting the field ready.
Exactly
yeah.
what it is.
Just want to ask you, Adrian, one of the most exciting days for Dodgers fans was the day you got traded to the Dodgers. 9-team trade. James Loney goes to the Red Sox. You get Adrian Gonzalez headlining the return back. What do you remember about that day, and just where were you when you learned of that deal?
It was the night before that I heard that it might go through. So if you're going with where was I heard the possibility of it going through the night before it actually happened. I was at home. In the morning when we woke up, they gave us the organization actually called and said they were just waiting on Josh Beckett to waive his no trade. So at that point, they said we should be heading to the clubhouse to start to pack in case the word was that he was going to waive it. So we wanted to pack at that point. So we were there. We were at home in Boston, and then we came to the clubhouse to get ready.
Do you remember the emotions? Were you happy? Were you excited? I mean, I know it's always a whirlwind when a player of your stature gets traded, but just were those initial emotions like we knew you were coming to the Dodgers?
It was excitement for sure. We were ready for to come back to the West Coast. I love playing with Boston. I loved everything about Boston, but at the end of the day, I'm a West Coast guy. I'm a Southern California guy, and I'm a bit of a foodie. I love food, as you can see by having some restaurants and stuff. But so I needed my Mexican food. Not great Mexican food in Boston. And so, like I said, great fan base. Love playing there. Nothing but great things to say about Boston and the organization. But at the end of the day, it's always good to come back to the West Coast.
And what was so exciting about it was you're coming out of the McCourt era, got the new Guggenheim era, and they finally get their superstar in Adrian Gonzalez. And then there's such thing as a first impression. I don't think anyone could have made a better first impression than you. Stepped up to the plate, second pitch, hit the bomb off Johnson. What do you remember about that, and how much of a blur was that?
The whole day was a big blur, only because, like I said, we stayed up all night thinking about the trade. Semi-packing just in case it does go through. We don't get hit up with the last minute like, hey, pack everything now. And then we go to the ballpark. It goes through, and we have to fly from Boston all the way to LA, which is a task in itself. And then get to LA about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. Game's at 6. We get in a car. police escort to the stadium. Obviously, traffic on the way in. We know how traffic can get on the way in, at Dodger Stadium. Get to the stadium at about 4:30 for a 6 o'clock game. Get to say hi to the owners, get to say hi to some people when we land. And then, now you're talking 5 o'clock. So you're talking an hour before the game starts. Get to the clubhouse, meet the clubhouse crew, meet Alex and everybody else there, and Mitch and everybody. And at that point, we, given the uniform, change. Now you're talking 6 or 5:20, 5:30, right? We change, we put on the stuff, and it becomes. Now everybody's already on the field stretching, and you're better. You've gotten off the plane, haven't stretched, haven't done anything. So by then, I'm barely have uniform on. So I go to the cage, take a couple of swings, and you're talking 5:45 now. Do a couple sprints inside because I didn't have time to go outside, and it's 5:55. Time to take the field. So I get inside, I go take the field, and I don't even say hi to a lot of the players because a lot of the players are outside doing their thing, getting ready for a game. I didn't get to say hi to Don Mattingly before the game started because he's doing his things. We take the field, we come back in after the field, and I'm saying hi to people, and before you know it, I'm up. I'm hitting, right? Basically saying hi to Don Mattingly on my way up to the hit. So then I get to the at bat, and again, I'm just like, so I get to my at bat and I hit the home run, and it's like it's just the whirlwind if you think about the day as a whole. Where I didn't really sleep the night before because of everything that could possibly happen. You're packing, and then you get just everything just kind of happens.
It was such an incredible moment. I think that when you look at this current Dodgers team with Shohei and Mookie and Freddie, do you feel some sort of connection with this group, knowing that, hey, you were kind of that first big star they kind of acquired, and there's this kind of connection between what this ownership group has done from you to now, where you're winning championships and you really turned into the marquee model franchise of Major League Baseball?
I think more than anything is the fact that when we came over, the team was, not in a great place. The clubhouse wasn't great. The organization didn't have really an identity. Didn't have what they were, right? And then we were able to establish that. We were able to establish that, clubhouse culture, all these things. Once we came over, and it started the following year, and from there on, the team's never lost, right? So. Never had a losing season, never made the playoffs every year. So being able to be the group that started that culture, that started the way that everybody's been playing, it's almost like the Dodger way now. That was, I think, the best thing about it because, you could have players, you can have whatever you want, but if you don't have culture, you're not going to be that successful team year in and year out. And being able to be the group that we established that culture, that they're still going by now, I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and you're still a part of it, right? SNLA, Dodgers fans need to come check out Slizeria to get a pizza. I'm curious, though, even though it was such a blur for you, your Dodgers debut, do you think you can remember the opening day lineup from that day? I mean, do you have any idea? The leadoff hitter, I'll give you.
I know McKain and Luis Cruz were on base when they hit the home run.
They were, absolutely. And they were, Luis
Cruz was...
There you go. So Mark Ellis, second base, batting first. Luis Cruz at third, batting second. Matt Kemp in center, batting third. And then Adrian Gonzalez at first. So that's the cleanup hitter right there. Then after that...
And then we had AJ Ellis catching. We had...
Batting ninth.
Yep. We had D. Gordon playing short. Right?
That one actually, Hanley.
Oh, Hanley was the shortstop. That's
yeah.
Right. They had just... Hanley. Traded for Hanley.
In right... Another Dodgers icon. You had Andre Ether in right. Then after him, you had in left. You remember this one?
Uribe was at third?
No, it was actually, for this one, it was actually Luis Cruz.
Oh, Luis Cruz was at third. That's right. You said in left?
This might be the hardest one.
In left field?
In left field. You got everyone but him.
Who's playing left field that day?
This is probably the hardest one. for sure. But it was
Juan Victorino?
not Shane Victor. It was actually Juan Rivera.
Juan Rivera. Okay.
Yeah. And on the mound it was your boy Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So legendary debut. We'll never forget it.
Yep.
You also played for the San Diego Padres in your career. This weekend you got the NOS. Look at that. First of all, just look at that pizza right there. Just look at this pizza. This is like Andrew Friedman putting together a roster. That's how good this pizza looks. All the key ingredients here. You took your time with that too. Like
talking.
You're into it.
We're talking.
Yeah.
I didn't make it perfect because we're in conversation, but yeah, you know.
It looks like really good.
It's good. It's good. It has, like I said, it has bell peppers for greens. It has, mushrooms and pepperoni for, for protein. Obviously the cheese, and then you have a little bit of kick with the jalapenos and pepperoncinis. It has a little bit of garlic underneath the cheese to give it a little flavor.
It looks like substantial. I'm not the biggest mushroom guy, as Noel knows, but I'm going to crush this for you, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we were talking about the Padres this weekend, NOS Showdown. You played for that franchise. We talked about it before. A lot has changed with these two organizations since you were there, but what do you make of this rivalry this year and for the last couple of years? Because now the Padres, just 2 games back in the division, should be electric.
Yeah, the last couple of years has been a lot of fun with the rivalry. Obviously, the Padres have put a lot of funds and attention to becoming a year in and year out powerhouse in the NL West, and so that's always a lot of fun to see. The fans have really gotten into it, and it's been great. I think this year, I think the Padres are not as strong as they were last year. I think last year they were very strong, but baseball's baseball. It's not about how good your roster is. It's about how good you play. And when it comes down to it, the team that plays the best is the one that's going to come out on top. But if you have to break it down for position battles or talent, the Dodgers still have the upper hand.
Do you think this almost helps the Dodgers knowing that you're trying to repeat, first team in a long time to do that, you're 2 games up, but to have that team down there kind of push them, making sure they're playing their best baseball, winning this division, how much do you think it's kind of driving the Dodgers as far as they're right behind them?
I think this team, the Dodgers team, doesn't really focus on that.
Yeah.
I don't think the focus is, the Padres or what are they doing. Veteran teams don't care about that. You don't look at the standings. You don't look at who else is in the division. You focus on who you're playing that day, and you win that game. And whether you're playing good or bad, it has nothing to do with what other teams are doing. And so. A Dodgers team would never let another team dictate, what they're doing or how they're going to play.
Sounds like it's a fans thing, right? I mean, Red Sox, Yankees, you're a part of that. Dodgers, Giants are part of that. Feels like if you're a great player, you're great because you're at your best versus any team, right? Feels like it's more of a fan-driven thing.
It's rivalries are all fan-driven. Especially nowadays. I do believe that back in the day when players didn't move around and you were playing the same team over and over or the same players, there could be a player rivalry. Nowadays, rivalries are all about the fans and media.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of fans, the Dodgers have always had a lot of fans. They even have more fans now, especially in Japan, because of a one Shohei Ohtani. And I was noticing your merch out there. You got the awesome Slizeria T-shirt, the hoodie, the hat. I almost think that if this was back in 2015, 2016, and you had that care package that you gave to Shohei Ohtani in that exhibition, Japan versus Mexico, might put some of those T-shirts and hoodies in that. What do you remember from that? Because, hey, do you take a little credit for the Dodgers getting Shohei Ohtani, Adrian?
You know what? We were joking around. The scout that drafted me, when I was drafted out of high school to the Marlins, Dave Finley, actually works for the Dodgers now, and he was a part of the Dodgers when I came over to the Dodgers. He went to Boston, and I got traded to Boston. He came to the Dodgers. I got traded to the Dodgers. He's got a lot to do with where I played my whole career. When he moved from the Marlins to the Red Sox, he made a big push for the Red Sox to acquire me, and then eventually the Red Sox acquired me. And then when he moved to the Dodgers, he was part of the push to have me over here as well. So I owe a lot to Dave Finley, the scouts, and he was in Japan with me when we went to that exhibition. He came over. He was scouting Shohei at the time, and so it's we were joking with Andrew Friedman via text thread the other day, or when the season started, before the season started. the fact that, being able to sign Shohei gave the team the ability to sign Yamamoto and Sasaki. And so it's, I said, hey, I'm not taking credit for this, but I think I started a little bit of a movement. So, the fact that I was willing to take the care package, knowing that it was there was going to be some repercussions. And
They need that bag, and they need to send it to Cooperstown. Like, it should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, what exactly was in that bag, though?
I have no clue, to be honest. Honestly, Dave Finley and Andrew, when I told them I was going to go, they were like, hey, we've been scouting Shohei, and we don't know where he's going to sign, but, we know that we're not allowed to do this. But can you take a care package? I was like, of course, give it to me.
Amazing.
And it was almost like one of those things where you think you don't know what's in it, you don't want to see, you don't want to take a peek and take a look. So they gave me the bag.
A little contract in there for $700 million. Get signed it years later.
And they gave me the bag. I put it on the plane, never opened it. I took it to the clubhouse, never opened it. And then when we got to go over and say hi to him, I just gave it to him. So I had no clue what was in it. I'm not responsible for what was in it. I'm just responsible for delivering it.
Have you ever kind of talked to Shohei about that, like, years later, or just like interact with him about it?
We haven't really had that full-on conversation, but we did talk about, like, hey, remember when we came across and I gave you the bag? He's like, yeah, of course, because he's a big fan of MLB and we talked a little bit about hitting and everything, so it was good.
It's really awesome. Adrian Gonzalez, a part of Dodgers lore in so many different ways. Shohei Ohtani, the player, no one knows swings better than you do. What does impress you the most about him just as a hitter?
His plate coverage. I think the biggest thing is, obviously we all know he's big, he's strong, but his plate coverage with those long arms is what really impresses me. That's what really, I think, sets him apart, is the fact that he's got the ability to hit the ball inside, but he can also cover, away and soft pitches away or down because of his length and his ability to cover through the length and his ability to cover the zone.
Awesome. By the way, he did say that he loves margarita pizza. So I think, Shohei, if you're watching this, you need to come give Adrian Gonzalez a care package, bring his New Balance stuff, whatever it is. So come visit him. But we're going to check out this pizza here. Is it, how long does it usually take?
It's almost done.
It's almost done? I'm excited about it.
About 8 minutes in here.
Yeah. I mean, another thing I want to ask you, too, is Mount Rushmore of hitters. All time. Are there 4 guys that you can think of that are your 4 favorite hitters, your Mount Rushmore of your favorite best hitters of all time?
Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey, for sure. Probably 2 best hitters of our generation, definitely could be top 10 all time. I think Barry Bonds is the best hitter of all time, hands down. Ken Griffey's not far behind him. I would put Tony Gwynn in there, just because I grew up a big Tony Gwynn fan. And I just, his ability to just hit. I mean, what do they say? Like, he could have had another 2,000 at bats going over and still be a 300 hitter career-wise.
Yeah.
And then after that, I didn't get to see much of him, only in the highlights nowadays. But my dad's favorite player was Mickey Mantle, so I'm gonna have to throw my dad's favorite player in there.
That's amazing stuff. Looks like we got our pizza over here. Looks like. Can't wait to check this out. All right, there we go. How often do you eat pizza per week now?
I'm here pretty often. I'm here once or twice a week if I'm in town, for sure. Maybe 3 or 4 times, depending on things that we got going on. But I'm definitely eating a slice or 2 when I'm here, because I'm here. So yeah. I'll definitely not eat breakfast when the days I know I'm coming, so I can come in here and get a slice like at 11, 12 o'clock.
Did you have a go-to pregame meal during your playing days?
Nothing specific. I wasn't superstitious at all, so I didn't have to have the same meal every time. I just had this conversation with a friend not too long ago, and I was like, I was the guy that if we went to Philly, I had cheesesteaks. If we went to New York, I had pizza. If we went to wherever we went, whatever they ate there, and was especially the best they had to offer, that's what I ate. So wherever we went to Miami, I ate Cuban. It's like wherever we go, that's what I was eating.
I want to ask you, so we saw you cook the pizza. What's the best meal that you can cook, like any type of food, like that comes to mind? Like what's Adrian Gonzalez's famous what?
I would say carne asada, tacos, and ceviche.
Ceviche. So, a little preview for your new spot. We'll be back for that one too.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, Adrian, I knew you were a man of many talents, but now I've tasted your pizza. 10 out of 10. It was delicious. Also want to tell Dodgers fans, if you come here to Slizeria, right here on the corner of Sawtell and Olympic, it's a chance you could poke your head in the back and see Adrian Gonzalez here making pizza. And we just want to congratulate you and thank you for joining us here at Dodgers Nation, my man.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure to be able to, welcome you here to Slizeria and, be able to make some pizza for you. So, yeah, come by Olympic and Sawtell. We're right here in the corner. Parking below, so you got where to park here in LA, which we always know it's a tough thing. So yeah, come visit us, and thank you for visiting us.
You can also order online. You can get some more info online. We'll drop that down below. But Adrian, we'll be back because this pizza is awesome. And see you soon, Dodgers Nation. Until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and we're out. So special thanks to my guy, Adrian Gonzalez. You guys had me laughing in the comments all throughout, but I really do recommend. I had a great time with him, but wow, just choking on some almonds. Excuse me, guys. But that's gonna do for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. We're going to go live at the Big A in a couple hours. I'm heading there right after this show. Hopefully we don't choke away this division now with a one-game lead over the Padres, by the way. I told you guys I really did go to Costco. Look at Kirkland almonds, eating them during the show. Pretty solid snack for sure. But all right, guys, see you in a couple hours from the Big A. Follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. Let's get this dub tonight. Let's figure this thing out. Let's get back in the win column. You got Emmet Sheehan on the bump for LA. A bullpen game for the Halos. But see you guys in a little bit. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Remember to subscribe and the notification bell. If you want to support this show every day, hit the like button on your way out and drop a comment down below. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.